Welcome to the Good Ride. We're pouring for snowboard gear. Here we are looking at the Rossignol Cuda, and we talked about it down below, and I kind of compared it against a few bindings today. And this kind of concludes my testing of these, so I'm just lining them all up, and we're going to talk a little bit about them. Compared these against the Hologram, the XV, and the Cobra. And I gotta say, really like this ankle strap. This combination of foam and this hard plastic, and just the way the ankle strap wrapped around my ankle felt great. The toe strap was a little questionable. Out of all these toe straps, this one came loose the easiest. I'd love to see, it just didn't feel like the best fit over the toe compared to this one on the Cobra and on the XV. That just had a better fit. I love the adjustability. I mean, it's the easiest adjustability, and it's so simple. You just look, there's 3, 2, 1. I just kept tweaking the bindings to fit. I love the fact that you can just dial this out according to your size. I have an 8.5, but they're reduced footprint, so I set it to 8, and it was perfect. I was right on the toe ramp. I felt balanced. I like this high back. It's comfortable for me. Now, the base plate, there's the disc. The base plate's my biggest problem with this. There's decent shock absorption, but going from here to the Hologram, it just felt like it completely changed the board's personality. The Hologram really is just much more damp, and the board just felt more dynamic underfoot. But this wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, and I thought it was just going to tear up the top sheet immediately. But it didn't. Every time I took it off the top sheet, there weren't any new marks, just kind of the same old, same old. So, butterability, all that stuff with all these bindings isn't very good. You're basically, using your own strength to bend the board. You're not getting anything dynamic underneath. But turning is fine. It was moderately responsive. It definitely sits in between these two. And it was kind of on par with the Hologram, maybe a little less. I felt the Hologram just had a quicker response. But then, it's just that base plate. If they could just do something with this base plate, the rest of this binding is really well done. Other than maybe the toe strap. Ratchets, actually that looked awful, but the ratchets are pretty smooth. And I had no issues. They went on and off easy, and they held really well. So yeah, the canted footbed definitely made me feel like my stance was a little narrower than it was. I was set at 22.5, and I felt more comfortable probably being like 22 3/4 or 23 by the way it turns in, which is a good thing. Because you can go a little wider, get a little more control over your board, but still not have that weird wide feel. If you like, and the gel pads helped. But all in all, it's a good binding. It's not a great binding. It could be an amazing binding if they just started playing around with the base plate technology a little more. And that would make it much more recommendable. But all in all, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be when I pulled this out of the box and looked at that big ass plastic bottom.